appreciate.
Well, you didn't. You knew about Martin Luther King Day, chose not to celebrate it.
Okay,
Um,
that's on me. I'll be real. I'm gonna apologize to chat. Okay.
yeah, yeah, and,
You know,
and
I was another person back then.
I'm
I
pretty
was another.
sure. I'm pretty sure, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure.
Uh-huh.
Weren't you the one that said like? Didn't you release
What did
that
I say?
that?
What did I say?
did,
What did I say,
didn't you
Max?
write your college thesis about like why Martin Luther King
Uh-huh.
was maybe not such a great person because like
Shut the
I don't know, he had
fuck.
like crack whores and cheated on his wife and he was like a
You
terrible person,
no, you're
but
mixing me up with another.
but
Okay,
also made the point really sold the point that Christopher Columbus was a pretty good dude, you know,
I'm
and the
being
Confederacy
slandered
was
right
not
now.
that bad, like you know, like they did some
I
good
feel
things
like
for America, like you know. Like maybe we shouldn't like shit on them completely. I just I don't know, man. I don't remember. It was either like you wrote it on that or like, you know, the little spinny collider thing that like hits particles together. It was one of those two.
It's one of those two.
It was
It
one
was
of
one
those
of those
two.
two. So it's tough to remember. It all kind of gets jumbled together.
Right before Black History Month too, Jacob.
I can't believe that.
What a bad time. Like bad timing all around.
It's a bad look. That's a bad look. I'm
That's
gonna be
a
honest. Here.
bad look. That's all right. Everybody gets one. Everybody gets one.
Speaking of, did you see the fucking? I forget what his name is. It was some dude that just popped off. Some like right winger who like had his podcast and like actually what you were just saying about Martin Luther King. Like he actually tried to make those points on his podcast.
Steven Crowder.
Yeah, fucking
Yeah,
Steven
yeah.
Crowder just
But that's the
went
reason
full
I
on-
said it. That's the reason I said it because I watched that video.
You watched the fucking yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Just went full on fucking like full far right racist
It's
talking points.
it's so fun. Well, this is the thing, right? So I've seen Steven Crowder before, right? I'm actually subscribed to him, believe it or
I
not.
feel like you're okay. You're the type of dude to be subscribed to Steven Crowder.
Well, I what did I watch him
Ironically.
on? Well, I just think he's so fascinating, right? I think he's so fascinating. Let me explain why. All right, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, Max is a fucking." Well, let's not forget Jacob wrote this fucking thesis statement around, about why Martin Luther King wasn't, you know, wasn't good
I'm
for our
being slandered
community.
right now. I'm being slandered. This is not true.
But so like I'll watch Steven Crowder, right? And this is how I feel about um most Republicans. Not all, but most, right? At least ones that like have a platform or talk, right? And I've explained this to you before, Jacob, where it's like they'll start talking, right? And you're like, well, you know, I don't that's not too bad. Like, that's an opinion, but that's not too bad at all, right? I don't see where all the craziness comes from, right?
Right.
And then they say a little more, and you're like, yeah, no, you make a pretty good point there. I mean, like, you know, maybe I disagree with it a little bit, but like, I kind of see where you're coming from. Like, it's not crazy or anything. It's just like, it's literally just like slightly a different opinion. You know, you feel a little differently on this. I kind of get that, and then they just keep talking,
And then they just
go
pop
down this
off.
fucking rabbit hole, and you're like, okay, well, where the fuck did that lead? Like, what happened there?
You're
And you're like,
"Wait
how
a
do we
minute,
get
I'm
here?"
not. How'd you make that leap? What happened? here?
Yeah, it was like we started out, you know, talking about, well, maybe this, maybe that, and you're like, you know, all right, well, I kind of see your
corporate-
point.
Corporate media sucks. It's like, all right, I'm with you.
Yeah, okay, that
And
meant.
now they're turning the freaking frogs gay. It's like, wait a minute, that's not it.
Wait a minute, that's not right.
You lost me there. You lost me there.
You're sitting there, maybe we shouldn't have rights in the street. Okay, that's a pretty good point. And cops should really shoot black people. It's like, wow, what the fuck is happening?
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
But my point about Steven Crowder was he
Coming out
does
of
that
Bixby.
shit.
Thank you, Mila.
He does that shit all the
Uh-huh.
time, right?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
he'll just keep talking, and I love it. That video specifically of the Martin Luther King thing, right? Was my favorite. Like my favorite, not like my favorite, but like my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, I'm watching this guy justify why Martin Luther King was a bad person.
Right, that's the whole point of his speech.
Right. So he's sitting there and he's trying to convince you that, maybe Martin Luther King was a pretty shitty person, But, and to be fair, I didn't watch the whole video. I watched half of it, all right? I'm going to leave him a little cred there. So I didn't see the whole thing. I had to go to the gym. But at least the first half that I was watching when he was talking about, like, riots and shit, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't see, you know what I mean? Like, he's not perfect. That's literally the only thing. He wasn't perfect, which is, like, fine. Nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, yeah, I think they were talking about riots or something, right? And he was like, well, riots are the cause when you fucking suppress a bunch of people for years
Yeah.
and kill them and treat them like dog shit, right? You're gonna have
Yeah.
some riots and some shit broken if you're not gonna fix that, eventually. And then he's like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think you should ever riot. And it's like, because you've never
What?
had the fucking boot on your neck before.
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like at a point, like there's a boiling over point, And I agree, it's like there shouldn't be riots, but at the same time, it's like,
And
know,
I love that he's attacking Martin Luther King for like the most like reasonable things he said. And it's like,
I know they're not even like outlandish crazy. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like super super crazy shit. And it's like, all right, well, Martin Luther King, all right, he's not a saint. He's not perfection. You know what I mean?
it was just like,
Well, who
it was
is?
just, and it's like such fucking trash, yeah. Such fucking trash opinion of like, yeah, it's Martin Luther King Day. I'm gonna talk about how ass Martin Luther King was, even though he wasn't.
Even though he wasn't, even though like
Yeah.
95% of him was fucking great, right? It's like no, we're gonna focus on the 5% of like the bad things he did.
But I'm not racist, guys. Guys, I promise I'm not racist.
I'm not racist.
I promise.
It's like, what are you? Did you know MLK ran a stoplight once?
Holy shit.
Fucking
We should not
disgusting.
support.
Why does he have a fucking day? Why does he have a fucking day? Shouldn't have a day. Should not have a day. um.
It's just it baffles me. It baffles me.
Yeah, but the other thing that really gets me about this whole thing is like, and this is why I think it's so funny because I've definitely seen videos, right? And I'm not gonna 100% say it was Steven Crowder, right? But I'm pretty sure it was. But I'm not saying it like was him, but it might have been him. You feel me?
Mhm.
I don't remember exactly what, but I've seen videos before, right, of people, and I'm pretty sure it's Steven Crowder too, justifying other like bad people for not being that bad. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to think of someone, and I feel like Christopher Columbus is one of them, right? You know what I mean? So my point with Steven Crowder, or these guys, I
Oh,
guess,
Uh-huh.
is they like, they'll take someone like Christopher Columbus, they'll take someone like Trump, they'll take Trump, right? And they'll be like, yeah, these guys did all this good stuff. Look how good they were. You know what I mean? When they've done like a shit ton of bad things,
Mhm.
and they'll like position as like they did a bunch of good shit, and then they take like, good people, and they're like, well, these people did a bunch of bad shit. You feel me?
Oh yeah, because they're racist.
And
Yeah.
then they're like, well, we're not
There's one
racist.
key difference in who they're talking about.
Yeah, Martin Luther King is not a good person. He's actually a really bad
Yeah.
person. He's kind of shitty, right? Now, hold on. See,
Christopher
look,
Columbus
Columbus,
actually
pretty
created
good guy.
jobs.